It's worth noting, too, that Chief O'Hara said Minneapolis police were there.
So I was hanging up.
Crowd control. They have a presence. State
and I
Patrol
caught
has
the
a
news
presence.
talking
we know
about
there
it.
are other local agencies on scene.
So
Eric
this
said
it right
that
here.
he saw Federal Bureau of Prisons, federal officers deploying
This footage of
the
it right
chemical
here, y'all.
agents, but we don't know who else is on scene and
Look, they punching
whether
them.
it is
Somebody
just
punching
federal
them.
agents, if local police are using it
Oh, they
as
shot
well,
him.
and what
They
those
started
type
running.
of situations are that
Look,
is
took them
necessitating
down.
that.
That's a really good question that we'll have to
Took
try
him
to get
down.
answered there is who's
Somebody punching.
dispersing this. But we heard Eric say he thought it to be the federal agents there from Department of Prisons.
I got
putting
the
that out.
other
You can see
footage
people standing there with
around
their
this
hands
time.
up,
I missed it.
even though the gas
other
is just
footage.
coming in a whole cloud right now.
Just to be clear, that is not live video right there. That is video from a short time ago on Nicollet in South Minneapolis.
Yeah. A busy area. I mean, just so many restaurants. It happened in front of Glamdall. Let me mention a couple of the restaurants: the Black Forest there, the Black Sheep Pizza, the Bad Waitress. So a very busy area with lots going on right
That's
now.
where they was
Especially on
protesting
Saturday
at.
morning.
Right.
And off camera, I do see Greg Bavino walking into the Whipple Federal Building to start a news conference. That's Greg Bavino, the head of U.S. Border Patrol. And I'm sure he will have a lot to say, and we want to listen to it. So if we can go there right now, let's do that.
Oh, he pissed off.
Good afternoon. Thank you all for being here today. I'm Gregory Bovino, and I have the privilege and honor
It's live,
of
y'all.
leading United States Border Patrol and Customs and Border Protection here in Minneapolis.
Going down.
Some of those brave men and women of Border Patrol and Department of Homeland Security law enforcement join me here today to show support for all federal law enforcement who have been under constant attack in Minneapolis for weeks now. This morning was no different. At 9:05 a.m. Central Standard Time, as DHS law enforcement officers were conducting a targeted operation in Minneapolis
saying it was
against an
targeted.
illegal alien, Jose Huerta Chuma. You can see this illegal alien on the screen to my left and right. That is Jose Huerta Chuma, whose criminal history includes domestic assault to intentionally inflict bodily harm, disorderly conduct, and driving without a valid license. During this operation, an individual approached U.S. Border Patrol agents with a 9mm semi-automatic handgun. The agents attempted to disarm the individual, but he violently resisted. Fearing for his life and the lives and safety of fellow officers, a Border Patrol agent fired defensive shots. Medics on the scene immediately delivered medical aid to the subject, but the subject was pronounced dead at the scene. The suspect also had 2 loaded magazines and no accessible ID. This looks like a situation where an individual wanted to do maximum damage and massacre law enforcement. Then, about 200 rioters arrived at the scene and began to obstruct and assault law enforcement. Crowd control measures have been deployed for the safety of the public and law enforcement. This situation
It is a lot of people out there protesting,
and more information is forthcoming. The officer was highly trained and had been serving as a Border Patrol agent for 8 years. The officer has extensive training as a range safety officer and less lethal officer. As mentioned, this is only the latest attack on law enforcement. Across the country, the men and women of DHS have been attacked, shot at, doxxed, had their family members threatened. And as we have seen more than 100 vehicle rammings over the past year against federal law enforcement.
There you go.
We will not allow violence against our law enforcement officers, and we need state and local help. State and local law enforcement.
Yes, for more help.
To help us coordinate to get violent criminals off the streets.
That's for more help.
Mayor Fry and Chief O'Hara just a few minutes ago did the opposite of that by omitting the fact that the suspect had a gun and magazines full of ammunition. In what looks like a situation, again, where an individual wanted to do maximum damage and massacre law enforcement. I want to reiterate to Donald Trump, Secretary Christie,
all right, got a different angle. You're going to actually see the ICE agent take his weapon and then they shoot him. Check it out.
In the last few hours, newly analyzed video has raised serious questions about a fatal federal shooting in Minneapolis.
Pop up right here.
Footage reviewed by CNN appears to show something critical happening seconds before gunfire erupts. According to a CNN video analysis, a federal immigration officer may have removed a gun from 37-year-old Alex Pretti just moments before officers fatally shot him.
I ain't gonna lie to you.
That detail now sits at the center of growing scrutiny. Bystander video shows a chaotic scene. Multiple federal agents are on top of Pretti, struggling to restrain him on a Minneapolis street.
Honestly,
as officers,
I'm gonna say it, if anything, the agent ran up with the gun and act like he took it from him. Look how it look. Look how it look.
Shout, "He's got a gun." One unidentified agent reaches into Pretti's waistband. Seconds later, that agent emerges holding a weapon that appears to match the handgun later released by the Department of Homeland Security. Just over 1 second after the gun is removed, a shot is fired. Then, at least 9 more. Video shows Pretti lying prone on the ground as gunfire continues. At no point in any footage reviewed by CNN is Pretti seen holding or wielding a weapon. Earlier, he is clearly seen holding only a cell phone. What happens before the shooting? Tensions had been escalating minutes earlier. Federal agents were conducting an operation in South Minneapolis as bystanders gathered, blowing whistles, honking horns, and recording video. Pretti, an ICU nurse at a Minneapolis VA hospital, is seen directing traffic and recording officers. He yells, "Do not push them into the traffic." Moments later, an agent pushes a woman to the ground. Pretti steps in between.
Run up in the scene.
He's pepper sprayed, forced to his knees, and dragged to the ground as more agents swarm.
He ain't got nothing.
One officer appears to strike him while he's restrained. Another, wearing a gray jacket, reaches into the pile of officers and retrieves the gun, then walks away from the scene. Aftermath and questions. Nearly a minute after the shooting, as Pretti lies motionless, an officer asks, "Where's the gun?" The agent responds, "I got the gun."
There it is.
Who fired first remains unclear. The Department of Homeland Security says officers feared their lives and fired defensively. DHS also released a photo of the recovered handgun and claimed Pretti posed a deadly threat.
Right.
Did the 37-year-old who had a license to carry, did he brandish a gun? And at what point did law enforcement retrieve the gun and also the magazines from him? Can you offer clarity on
this
where
individual
those were found?
showed up to impede a law enforcement operation and assaulted our officers. They responded according to their training.
But Minneapolis Police Chief Brian O'Hara said Pretti was believed to be a lawful gun owner with a permit to carry. Former Police Commissioner Charles Ramsey, after reviewing the videos, said this does not appear to be a justified shooting. He's prone on the sidewalk, and they're still firing rounds into him. Ramsey is now calling for an independent investigation, warning that early political defenses of the officers could undermine accountability. As new video continues to surface, the central question remains. If the gun was already removed, why did the shooting continue?
Subscribe